Welcome, everyone, to today's story episode. If you think love is about trust and honesty, wait till you hear this one. Today, we dive into a real-life drama I like to call Love, Lies, and $92,000 in Debt. I'm your narrator, just an ordinary guy who thought he was about to marry the love of his life, until everything blew up in my face. Here's the question I want you to think about as you listen. What would you do if the person you're about to marry suddenly drops a massive financial bombshell on you and then demands you pay it off? Would you step up, walk away, or try to fix things? That's exactly what happened to me, and it's tearing me apart. This story is about trust, betrayal, and hard choices. Stick around because this isn't just about money. It's about whether love is enough when the truth comes out. I'm 38 years old, and my fiancé is 34. We've been together for about 5 years and engaged for nearly one. For most of that time, I truly believed we were on the same page. We shared dreams, buying a home, starting a family, building a life together. Trust was the foundation of our relationship, or so I thought. She was warm and caring, and we had an easy connection. We talked openly about our goals and values, or at least I thought we did. I always valued honesty, especially when it came to money. You see, growing up, my parents went through a messy divorce that left them financially broken. Watching that struggle taught me to be cautious and responsible with money. I worked hard, saved steadily, and I'm proud to say I own my home outright. No debt, just careful planning. Financial stability is not just a number for me, it's peace of mind. I never wanted to repeat my parents' mistakes or be blindsided by financial secrets. That's why I took money seriously and expected the same from my partner. Before all this, I thought we were building a future based on trust and honesty. I never imagined that the biggest challenge would come from something she'd hidden from me all along. As wedding planning began, the excitement was real, but so were the pressures. Costs were adding up, and it was the perfect time to talk about finances. I decided to bring up the idea of a prenup, not because I didn't trust her, but because I wanted to protect what I'd worked so hard to build. I explained it was just a practical step, something to safeguard both of us, not a sign of distrust. But her reaction shocked me. She got defensive almost immediately. "Are you already planning to leave me?" she asked, hurt flashing in her eyes. I tried to explain that it wasn't about expecting a divorce, but about being transparent and fair. I wanted to protect my assets without being unfair to her. She refused to talk about it further. That was the first big red flag. It wasn't just the refusal, but the emotional reaction that made me uncomfortable. Suddenly, money talks became a minefield. She dodged questions about bills and expenses. I started noticing strange things, bills I didn't expect, credit card offers she never mentioned, even some shared expenses she said she'd cover but didn't. My gut started telling me something wasn't right. It felt like she was hiding something. I kept hoping it was just stress or nerves, but the tension only grew as the wedding day got closer. Then one day, the truth came out. I noticed a missed payment notice on our shared account and some unopened mail addressed to her. I confronted her directly. "Is there something you're not telling me? Do you have debt?" At first, she hesitated. Then quietly, she confessed. She had $92,000 in credit card debt. $92,000. It wasn't student loans or a mortgage. It was credit cards, piling up over the years. She explained it was a mix of unexpected emergencies and some reckless splurges. Some nights out, fancy dinners, shopping sprees she called stress relief. Others were actual financial emergencies, but she never told me until I pressed her. It was like a secret she buried deep. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. How could she keep this from me for so long? We were about to merge our lives, but she had entrusted me enough to share this. It wasn't just the money. It was the secrecy, the lies by omission. That moment shattered everything. I started doubting the whole relationship. Was I about to marry someone who could keep such a huge part of her life hidden? What else was she hiding? The more I thought about it, the more the doubts crept in. After the debt revelation, I tried to find a way forward. I suggested a compromise. We get married, but only if we signed a prenup. I wanted to protect both of us and make sure we were clear on financial boundaries moving forward. It seemed like a fair ask, but she pushed back hard. She said the prenup was unromantic, selfish even. If we're a team, she said, you should help me pay off the debt, not protect yourself from it. Suddenly, it felt like I was the bad guy for wanting financial clarity. She played the victim, guilt-tripping me with tearful reminders about love and commitment. Things escalated quickly. She demanded I take responsibility for her debt, saying that marriage meant sharing everything, good and bad. It was as if the years of secrecy and hiding had twisted into an emotional weapon against me. I wanted to support her, but this felt wrong. Then her family got involved. Her mom called me, angry and accusing. She said I was selfish and cold-hearted, trying to trap her daughter with the prenup. It was relentless. They attacked my character, claiming I wasn't man enough to stand by their daughter. The pressure was overwhelming. I was stuck between my principles and the person I loved. Was I being too rigid? Or was this a warning sign I couldn't ignore? The more I stood my ground, the more the walls went up between us. At some point, I realized the debt itself wasn't the biggest problem. What really hurt was the hiding and the lack of accountability. She didn't just owe money, she lied, avoided responsibility, and expected me to clean up the mess without question. That broke something inside me. I started to question everything. Could I build a future with someone who kept such a big secret, who refused to own up to their mistakes? The love I felt was tangled with disappointment and doubt. The emotional distance between us grew wider every day. Our house, once a place of comfort, felt cold and tense. Conversations became short or didn't happen at all. We tiptoed around the dead-end prenup like it was a ticking time bomb. The more I tried to reach out, the more she pulled away. It was painful. I kept asking myself, was this worth it? Was marriage the right step? I loved her, but love wasn't enough if trust was broken. It was the hardest realization I've ever faced. I knew I had to be honest with myself, even if it hurt. This wasn't just about money anymore. It was about respect, honesty, and whether we shared the same values. After weeks of this painful dance, I finally laid it all out. I told her the truth. Prenup or no wedding, I couldn't walk down that aisle blind to the risks anymore. I even offered to attend therapy together or find other compromises, anything to save us. But she refused again. She insisted that marriage was about full trust and that a prenup showed a lack of faith. At the same time, she asked me to start paying off her debt in the meantime, as if that was my responsibility now. I was crushed. The woman I thought I would marry wanted me to gamble everything on blind trust while carrying her financial burden, and she refused to be accountable. So, with a heavy heart, I called off the wedding. I told her I loved her but couldn't move forward under these conditions. It was one of the hardest decisions of my life. The fallout was brutal. Her family was furious, accusing me of ruining their daughter's life. There was sadness, anger, and bitterness all around. We lost deposits on the venue, caterers, and more. Money down the drain. I'm still processing everything, but I know I had to choose my well-being and honesty over a relationship built on secrets and demands. Love isn't supposed to feel like this. After I called off the wedding, my fiancée packed her belongings and moved out. The house suddenly felt so empty, and the silence was overwhelming. I was left alone with a whirlwind of emotions. Grief for the relationship I thought was solid, relief that I avoided marrying someone who wasn't honest, and an unexpected wave of self-doubt. Was I too rigid? Could I have handled things better? Should I have given her another chance? I reached out to family and friends for support. Their reactions were mixed. Some applauded me for standing my ground and valuing transparency, telling me I had avoided a disaster. Others thought I was too harsh, encouraging me to forgive and move on. Hearing all these perspectives helped me process what had happened. Over time, it became clear to me that I had indeed dodged a long-term disaster. Marrying someone who hid such a massive debt and refused to be accountable would have doomed us to years of mistrust and resentment. Reflecting on everything, I've learned vital lessons about love and boundaries. Love isn't just feelings. It requires honesty and respect. Hiding $92,000 in debt isn't a minor mistake. It's a red flag. Most importantly, I realized the value of having tough but necessary conversations early, especially about money. While it hurts, I'm now focused on healing and moving forward. I'm grateful for the clarity I gained and hopeful for a future built on trust and openness. When I shared my story on Reddit, the response was overwhelming and eye-opening. Many commenters offered emotional support, validating my feelings of betrayal and shock. They praised me for prioritizing financial honesty and maintaining clear boundaries. A common sentiment was that hiding such significant debt before marriage was a major breach of trust. That said, there were some critics. A handful suggested I should have been more understanding or flexible, arguing that love should come before financial issues. However, the majority agreed that the real problem wasn't the debt itself. It was the secrecy and refusal to take responsibility. The themes echoed across many replies were honesty, communication, and the importance of prenups. People shared their own experiences where hidden finances led to serious relationship problems. Several emphasized that prenups are not a lack of trust, but a practical safeguard for both partners. This Reddit community feedback reaffirmed my decision. Love and trust must coexist, especially before making lifelong commitments. Transparency about money is non-negotiable and foundational for any healthy relationship. To wrap up, I don't hate her. I still care about the person I thought she was. But I feel deeply deceived, and that betrayal reshaped my entire view of our future. This experience taught me how crucial it is to face uncomfortable truths before tying your life to someone else's. My advice to anyone listening or reading: have those tough conversations early. Talk openly about finances, expectations, and boundaries before you say "I do." It's not about mistrust. It's about protecting yourself and building a foundation rooted in honesty. Remember, if someone won't show you the whole picture, they probably don't want you to see what's in it. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, or have your own thoughts, please share in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it resonated with you. Stay strong and take care of yourselves.